The North Sea Jazz Festival in The Hague, and that was indeed Pat Mallinger and his quartet. Pat Mallinger is going to program some of this music live on the Thanksgiving weekend, Friday, November 24th, and Saturday the 25th, with Kenny Horst on drums, Chris Lomheim on piano, and Chris Bates on bass, on the AQ stage, the Artist Quarter. And that's at St. Peter Street, between 6th and 7th, at the intersection of 7th Place and St. Peter. I know that he's been on his gig, and I caught him in Chicago or just outside of Chicago. Pat Mallinger, you're there.
Yes, Leigh.
Nice to have you there.
Great. Thank you very much for inviting me on your show once again.
Well, you might just help us add some program notes here. We've just listened to the Thumper and Slash Nursery Blues, and there are a couple of really important writers connected with that, and then we want to know the personnel supporting you on saxophone.
The personnel on that date?
Yes.
Actually, we have Jimmy Ryan playing the piano, and unfortunately, late great bass player Thomas Keeney, he passed away last year, and Jeff Steitley is playing drums.
And you're on tenor saxophone.
Yeah, tenor and alto.
I know you double. The Thumper?
The Thumper, exactly. Jimmy Heath's composition, and then I ended up with Jackie McLean's The Nursery Blues.
And there you are on stage at the North Sea Jazz Festival. That must be quite an experience for one of the newer members of the jazz community in this part of the world.
Yeah, it was great. It was a fantastic experience. I've been there a couple times, and it's a great jazz fest, and it's always an honor when they invite me back. And supposedly the word is that maybe I'll be back there next year, so I'm looking forward to that possibility.
Well, as you think about your music, I'd like to just mention a name to you, and you just give me a kind of a reaction to that name, Tommy Bauer.
Sure. Tommy actually is, in relation to me, he's my father's cousin. I always knew him as Uncle Tommy Bauer. It wasn't until in high school that I found out that he actually isn't my uncle, but certainly related. And so Tommy was a big influence on me, my direction in life, because Tommy is a legendary jazz saxophonist in the Twin Cities, as many people know, and also an organist later in life. Tommy was indoctrinated into the Twin Cities Jazz Hall of Fame, and he's had a big influence on music in the Twin Cities.
Did he coach you or mentor you in the sense musically?
Sure he did, yeah. I had 3 lessons with him that I remember distinctly that really had a big influence on me.
In what way?
Well, 2 things come to mind. Firstly, he always stressed the importance of sound. He taught me that how people identify you by your sound, and he said, many folks have endless technique, but it's your sound that will draw people. And so I always remember that, and that's always played a big role in my music. So that was one thing, and secondly, I always remember a poignant lesson he gave me as he warned me of the perils of being a musician. And it was quite intimidating for a 7th grader, but he must have had some insight into my direction in life, because it was around this time that I decided I wanted to be a professional musician.
And he gave you a sense of discipline?
Yeah, he did, and he warned me of the dangers of being a musician, which for a 12-year-old was kind of scary, but I think it was definitely insightful for him, that he knew that I was going to end up being a jazz musician, perhaps.
Well, I certainly remember his stunning tenor saxophone solos prior to the time he joined Boyd Rayburn's big band. He was in a climate of young lions, the Glad Olinger Band, and he just absolutely knocked everybody out with power and such great taste.
Yeah, I have some of those recordings too. Fortunately, he passed on some of those recordings to me, and those as well as the early recordings of Boyd Raeburn's band. And I still to this day put those tapes on, and even my friends come by and I blow their minds, blow their socks off by putting that on, and they're like, "This is your uncle?" And I'm like, "Yes." And, they're like, "How come you don't hear this guy?" It's funny. There's a lot of guys that didn't get on the national scene like they should have, although he did have a national reputation, but he didn't become the household name that Coleman Hawkins did and Ben Webster and some of those guys did.
Definitely their influences on Tommy Bauer.
Oh, definitely. Tommy, you hear the real strong influence of Coleman Hawkins and Lester Young for sure.
Well, it's just a pleasure to touch base with you, and we're looking to Thanksgiving weekend when you join forces with the likes of Chris Lomheim, an emerging and important musician, the pianist, and Chris Bates on bass, and the Kenny Horst, entrepreneur and official timekeeper.
Yes, exactly. It should be a wonderful band. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, it's a date, and we circle it. Marianne Sullivan's Jazz Calendar, November 24th and Saturday the 25th. And it's always good to renew with you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. It was really my pleasure.
I've been talking with Pat Mallinger, and we look to his engagement at the Artist Quarter underground at the Ham Building in St. Paul, Minnesota. And you, and you, and you over there, weather permitting, appear in person at the AQ.